Hello everybody, my name is Adam Heron, and today I'm going to play the Sixth English Suite by the German composer Johann Sebastian Bach. And following that, I'm going to play a little morceau from Faschingsschwank aus Wien, which translates as Carnival Scenes from Vienna, by Robert Schumann. I chose these pieces today because I feel they are very appropriate to play on this instrument. And this instrument is an 1850s instrument which belonged to Gustav Holst, the English composer. And so these pieces suit the instrument very well. Schumann was composing around that time, and also the Bach, which comes from the 1720s, is actually much easier to play on an instrument like this, compared with the modern Steinway, for example. It has a lighter touch. It's very different, actually. So that's why I chose them. It's appropriation to the instrument. The piano was not my first musical instrument. I actually started to play the violin around the ages of between 6 and 7, and the piano followed soon after that. And the only reason I started the piano was that I was very lucky, in a sense, that there was some sort of school raffle, and they were giving away an old Bristol-made piano, an English piano dating from around the early 1900s. So it's not very good, it's a bit worse for wear, but they were giving away this instrument, and I was lucky enough to have received it. And so I had the big toy in the room, which was ostensibly much more impressive than the violin. Apologies to any string players, of course it's not true, but for the young boy that I was, I thought that was just absolutely fascinating to have such a big musical instrument in the room, and that's how it started. The first piano lesson I had to fight a lot to get a first piano lesson. It was such a popular instrument at school. But eventually, around the ages of 8 or 9, I managed to get a first piano lesson with a wonderful teacher called Sarah Henderson, who was local at the time. And the first thing I ever remember was just learning to play all the C's, and then all the D's, and all the E's. I mean, pretty standard, but very important, and a very good way to start somebody, to get really good at knowing how to spell the music. I mean, I'd use that term to spell the music because one needs to know what all the notes are in the first instance. When people ask me this question, what's your favorite composer or what's your favorite musician, I often reply it's a very difficult question to answer, but I would probably say something by Mozart. And the reason I give Mozart as my answer is because I think Mozart's music, it will lift the emotions, lift my emotion, whatever state I'm feeling, however I'm feeling, for the better. One of my favorite pianists, not alive today unfortunately, but he was born in the late 19th century, the French pianist Alfred Cortot. His interpretations of Chopin are just incredibly diverse. There's no one performance is the same, there's lots of interest, and I like his daring attitude to music, and I do hope that I think more young musicians nowadays will take that kind of daring attitude and bend the rules sometimes. Music school, that came at the age of 12. I got a scholarship. I won a scholarship to Wells Cathedral School, the specialist music school in Somerset. And now I study at the Royal Academy of Music in the class of Professor Christopher Elton. And I'll be shortly graduating. And it's been a very, very interesting journey of growing up in the UK with such a diverse musical tradition of British music, of European music, of all sorts. I actually spent 4 years in a cathedral choir under Adrian Partington at Gloucester Cathedral. And so I developed a great love for the Anglican choral tradition, which is internationally a little bit niche, but for me it's a treasure. Unfortunately, competitions, they do come along with the trade, and we do have to take part in them. Of course, I certainly hold the stance that music is not a competitive sport, but nevertheless, a competition is a good occasion to set yourself a challenge, or perhaps even to try out something new and put yourself in front of an audience for the first time, especially as a young child, as I had to do here at the Cheltenham Festival. Recently, I was a piano finalist at the BBC Young Musician 2018, and that was a fantastic experience. I have a great fondness for travelling, actually. I love learning languages, and I was about to talk about France here, and I want to just say to poursuivre my studies, to follow my studies at the Conservatory of Paris, because that's somewhere I think has a great musical tradition. I have a very strong interest actually in French music. It's a real honor and a privilege to play on Holst's piano. One of the most, well, revered figureheads from this town, his own piano. It's wonderful, really. And actually, musically, it's a very challenging instrument to play on nowadays because we're used to playing on instruments that are very responsive, perhaps can play very loudly. So it's actually a very good exercise in performing on a historical instrument. This instrument, which dates from the 1850s, is very different from what we have today, but it's really, really beautiful when played well. Thank you.